So Stratton, why should people be concerned about burning fossil fuels?
Fossil fuel is polluting our planet, it's polluting our island, it's expensive, it's volatile, and the most important thing to consider is it's increasing the cost of living and increasing the cost of business in Bermuda. So anything we can do to reduce our reliance on fossil fuel is going to make Bermuda stronger, cleaner, and safer.
Obviously, there's a lot of thoughts out there about renewable energy. You know, some people even suggesting that renewable energy is going to end up costing us, more money. What do you have to say to people about that topic, like the viability of renewable energy and the cost?
Yeah, so around the world, the cost of renewable energy is continuing to drop. So the more people, the more businesses are investing in this sort of technology, we're seeing a reduction in the price of it to deploy it. The other thing is in terms of helping us to reduce the cost of electricity in Bermuda, there are ways for us to do that with sensible grid management and deploying clean energy while we start to phase out fossil fuel on the island. So there's ways to do that that would help to levelize the cost of energy, make it more affordable and more accessible for everyone in Bermuda.
Mm-hmm. And what about reliability? Because people are saying like, well, fossil fuels have given us like reliable energy over the years. And as a result of that, we've been able to build like huge economies and, put a lot of infrastructure in place. And now, having a stable electricity source is key for the way that we live. You know what I mean? So, with that in mind, some people are fearful of a transition to different types of energy when you start to talk about intermittency and things of that nature,
Yeah.
Will renewable energy take us backwards in some way, or, has all this been considered in the way it's being deployed?
Yeah, I think renewable energy is not only the future, it's the present. There are lots of case studies around the world where they're deploying clean renewable energy, which is helping to reduce the cost of living, but also enhancing the quality of life. And also helping people to save money. So, while there are questions about intermittency, the thing to focus on ultimately, Eugene, is how can we manage our grid sensibly so that we can deploy this fast and efficiently and still maintain the reliability that we're looking for. But like I said, there's lots of case studies of this going on around the world where they're moving out and away from fossil fuel, such as coal, and they're moving towards clean renewable energy sources and still providing that reliability and safety to the consumers that are using that electricity.
When you talk about smart grid management, like, can you explain that a bit further? Like, what does that really look like?
Yeah, so, for example, the sun is coming up and going down every single day. That's the optimal time for us to be using solar energy. There are times in Bermuda where it's extremely windy, and then there are times when it's dead calm out there on North Shore. So intermittency is explaining when renewable energy isn't going to be available. So at the times that it's not available, we need to think about what other sources we're using. For example, if we are still using clean renewable sources such as wind, sun, or tidal energy, or if at those times we're relying on other sources such as stored up battery storage, energy that had been put into batteries to be used at a later point. Or perhaps we are using a bit of fossil fuel to manage that intermittency. So it's all back to like how we're sensibly using the energy that we're not only producing, but the energy that we're consuming as well, and really thinking about how we could be smarter with how we use that. So for example, when the sun is out, and if you have an electric vehicle on your property, charging your car up during the day using that clean solar energy is sensible. So then at nighttime, when you come home, you're able to run parts of your house off of that car battery that you've charged up. That's like a small scale example, but imagine that on a larger scale from a utility perspective, or from Belco's perspective. How can we have more of a distributed energy model where basically, rather than just having a central utility right here in Pembroke, that we have little solar neighborhoods where we're charging up batteries and we're using them later on when the sun is down or when the wind has dropped. So it's just managing it differently. It's like you don't want to leave your lights on all day. You don't want to leave your AC blasting with the windows open. You want to be sensible with how you're using that electricity in your house. It's just a different way in terms of managing that, and then thinking about optimal times to use that solar or clean energy, whether it be from wind, tide, or the sun.
So you talked about managing the grid, but what about people managing their energy consumptions at home?
Yeah.
Like what work do you guys do around that, or what advice do you have?
Yeah, so at BE Solar, we're really focused on energy efficiency. That's an important part of what we offer to our clients. We want to help properties use energy more efficiently, and by doing that, it means that you don't need as many solar panels, and you can get a faster return on your investment when you do put panels on your property. Energy efficiency is key in all of this, and there are simple examples of it. Installing LED lights is a very simple, low-cost investment that will provide a very fast payback. Installing timers on water heaters or circulating pumps, for example, upgrading your AC equipment to be more modern and more efficient, or buying new appliances that are Energy Star rated. These are all examples of energy efficiency that helps to reduce your energy consumption or reduce the kilowatt hour consumption. And really, reducing kilowatt hour consumption is a great way for you to save money. The Belco bill is based off of kilowatt hours, the unit of energy. The more you consume, the more you're going to be spending, the more you're going to fall into the higher tier of the Belco bill, but the more you're going to be spending on that fuel adjustment. The fuel adjustment is based off of how many kilowatt hours your property consumes on a monthly basis. That fuel adjustment is basically the cost of fossil fuel. It's the cost of us importing that expensive, volatile, dirty fossil fuel to our island. So basically, the more energy efficient you can be, the more you're going to reduce your bill and reduce the amount of kilowatt hours that you're being billed for. So it's really important to focus on energy efficiency as the first step towards moving towards running off of clean energy on your property, whether it be your home or your business.
All right. So for those of you who are watching, we're talking with Stratton Hatfield from BE Solar. BE Solar will be at the Living Green Expo, which is on January 28th. It's a Sunday. It should be a great day in Dockyard. You get to learn all about renewable energy, energy efficiency, and a host of other areas of interest that are all complementary to what we're discussing right now. So, yeah, Stratton BE Solar is a brand that's relatively well known in the community. You know, a lot of people, when they think about renewable energy, they think about, you know, BE Solar first. You know, like, why was BE Solar created, and what does your team hope to achieve through the work you're doing as an organization?
Yeah, so BE Solar was actually founded in 1935 by a gentleman named Gordon Hamilton Berlin. He was an engineer back then in the 30s that designed the first microgrid in Bermuda. He used a wind turbine to create a microgrid at his property in Paget. He also was an engineer that designed a solar hot water panel called the Bermuda Sun Heater. Unfortunately, because of the wars, he wasn't able to put that into production, but he was an innovator back then in the 1930s, and he founded Bermuda Engineering Company Limited. In 2010, we formed BE Solar. The BE in BE Solar stands for Bermuda Engineering Company Limited. And since 2010, we've really been focusing on how we can help Bermuda to become more efficient from an energy perspective, but how we can help Bermuda move away from fossil fuel and to deploy more clean, renewable energy. So our vision is an efficient Bermuda powered by clean energy. It's very simple. And our purpose is to empower a sustainable Bermuda. We want to see Bermuda become more resilient. We want to see Bermuda become cleaner, the air that we breathe and the way that we use energy, but we also want it to be more sustainable in general. And when we think about sustainability, we're not just thinking about the important environmental components of it, we're also thinking about the economic and the social pillars of sustainability. And really, how can we balance that out? Every clean energy system that we deploy is also employing people. We're hiring people. From a social perspective, we're not only hiring people, but we're helping people to reduce the cost of living. These are good examples of social sustainability. You know, every system that we install, we're reducing the amount of fossil fuel and the amount of CO2 emissions that our island is producing. But we're also helping people save money and keep more money in our local economy. So we're constantly thinking about how can we empower a sustainable Bermuda, and how can we really help everyone here? Residences and businesses, schools, churches, nonprofits. How can we help Bermuda to become more sustainable. So that's something that we're really passionate about, and that's something that we've been doing now. So for the past 13 plus years, we've really been focusing on, how can we provide more of a holistic approach to deploying clean energy in Bermuda.
So with that in mind, I mean, that's some great goals. And, over the years, I've seen you guys have really been achieving a lot of that and made some really good progress in terms of getting, solar and renewable energy moving on the island.
Yeah.
But what are the services and things that you currently provide that are going to allow you to achieve all those things that you just listed?
Yeah, so what we offer to our clients is more of a consultative approach to approaching energy. So what we want to do is we want to help you be more energy efficient. We want to provide you with more of a customized proposal for your property that's really designed to help you save money, get a reliable return on investment, but also to help you reduce the amount of CO2 emissions that your property is producing and putting out there. We also are helping people understand the value of battery storage and really what you can do to have silent, reliable backup power in the event of an outage, but also how you can use the battery system to keep more energy on your property rather than exporting it back to the grid. So these are some of the things that we've been focusing on for our clients, and we really take more of a holistic approach to helping them. And what's important in the end is designing something that's specific for the property. Every property is unique in Bermuda. Every property uses energy differently. Everyone has different goals, whether they're environmental, economic, or social. So we really like to take the time to listen to our clients' needs and develop a scope around their specific goals. So it's much more consultative. What we're offering is a lot more holistic. And really in the end, we want to make sure that we're helping people achieve those goals.
Right. So who's benefiting right now from the growth of the solar PV?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. I mean, consumers are benefiting from it, especially consumers that are investing in it for their homes or their businesses. But I'd like to think that Bermuda as a whole is benefiting from it as well. We've installed over 700 solar energy systems around the island. All of those solar systems are helping us to reduce the amount of fossil fuel that's being used in Bermuda. So the amount of pollution that's being emitted from the Belco stacks is being reduced because of the systems that are being installed around the island. Now, BE Solar is one of 5 solar companies on the island. So we have installed over a third of the solar energy in Bermuda, but there are lots of other companies that are doing this as well. So I think that's healthy in this sort of industry is the options that are being provided to consumers and really what sort of impact it's having from that social, economic, and environmental perspective. So yeah, it's definitely a positive thing for Bermuda, especially when you think about it over the long term of it all.
Yeah, for real. So, are you finding that the growth that you're experiencing is coming from, is it demand driven? Or is it really that, as a company, you're becoming more proficient in terms of getting in touch with people and helping them to understand how they can benefit?
Yeah, so that's a really good question as well, Eugene. It's a bit of both. The demand side is coming from the fluctuation in Belco pricing. We call it the Belco shock. When rates are increased, we see a lot more people calling in. They're frustrated, they're angry, they want to be reducing their bill as much as possible. But on the flip side, we're taking the time to go out there and to prospect people. We are really focused on awareness and empowerment, and we go out and we provide workshops and assemblies and educational series to inform the community about what we're doing and help them understand the value that this is providing to the community and to themselves as well, to their, if they're homeowners or even if they're renters, the sort of value that this sort of approach is providing to the community. So it's a bit of both. It's reacting to the demand, but also prospecting and spreading awareness and educating people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when people get solar now, is it like a slam dunk that you're going to win? Does everybody save money, or, other scenarios where maybe solar doesn't really work out for you?
Yeah, so Everyone's going to save money by investing in solar. Every panel that you put on your property is going to help to reduce your Belco bill. The reality with the rate structures that are defined by the regulatory authority of Bermuda is that for the higher consuming properties, because their Belco bill falls into the top tier, which is the most expensive tier of the Belco bill, they're reaping savings from that, which is greater savings because they're offsetting that higher dollar amount per kilowatt hour. So they're going to see a faster payback on their system. Compared to, say, a one-bedroom cottage that doesn't consume a lot of energy, they're still going to get savings, but they're going to see a longer return on investment because their billing structure is most likely in the middle tier, if not the lowest tier. So the savings that they're reaping from the solar panel system are offsetting a lower rate. So everyone will get savings, but sometimes you'll see a longer payback for certain properties based off of their energy consumption.
So it's really the heavy energy users that are benefiting the most, and I guess commercial, it's a no-brainer because they're using the energy when the sun's out.
Yeah.
'Cause that's when they're open.
Yeah, so most commercial properties are going to be getting value out of installing solar on them. It just depends on when they're using their energy. And to your point, like a lot of businesses are operating during the solar period, when the sun is out. However, some businesses are running more equipment at night, depending on, what their use is. Like a sports club, for example, they might be running all of their equipment at night. So they're not going to have the same sort of savings as they would be if they were running their operation during the day. So it all kind of comes back to the importance of like understanding how the property uses energy and really designing a solution around that so that you're going to get a compelling return on investment. And really, I keep saying investment because that's what this is. This is an investment in not only long-term savings, but also it's an environmental investment. And it's important to clarify that every system is an investment in reducing Bermuda's reliance on fossil fuel. It's an investment in reducing and mitigating the effects of the climate crisis and really helping to reduce those CO2 emissions or the greenhouse gases that are increasing the temperature of our planet. So we really like to help people understand the various investment propositions of this sort of system.
Understood. So you're going to be at the expo.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, what are you guys' thoughts about the fact that this is happening? This is the first time that there's going to be a Living Green Expo as a really standalone main event.
Yeah.
And what can people expect to see when they come to the BE Solar booth?
Yeah, so first off, we feel that this event is very important for Bermuda. We've been supporting Green Rock for some time now, and we really appreciate what Green Rock is doing to change the mindsets in Bermuda. The Living Green Expo is a great opportunity for people to come out and to learn about various things associated with natural and holistic and sustainable living values. And from our perspective, we want to use our booth to spread awareness, to educate people, and to really inform them as to what this technology can do. And also, what does energy efficiency look like? And how can that help you really to save money and to reduce your energy consumption? So we're going to take people through their Belco bills. We're going to help them understand what they can do to reduce them, first and foremost with the efficiency. But we're also going to have products there to show them the technology that we're using and how it's being used, and really, what it's going to be doing to help people make that sensible investment, like I mentioned before.
Yeah, give thanks. Well, we're looking forward to having you guys there.
Thank you, Gene.
It's always been a pleasure working with you. You guys have not only been due diligent in your corporate or commercial role in terms of providing quality service to the community, but you guys have always been at the forefront of raising awareness and dealing with public advocacy around, environmental concerns. And so we're really thankful and appreciative of the work that you guys do in both realms, because it's all helping to make Bermuda a more sustainable place. So Justin, wrapping up, do you have any closing words for the audience?
Yeah, so From my perspective and from our perspective at BE Solar, like we just want to empower everyone to be the change that they wish to see. We're not only thinking about today, but we're thinking about tomorrow and what sort of decisions we can make to improve the quality of living and to improve the quality of our environment for future generations. So I really want to encourage all of you to come out to support this event and to really think about what you can do to help Bermuda become more sustainable. So. Thank you so much, Eugene. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate Green Rock, and yeah, we're really excited about this event, so thank you for organizing it.
Yeah, well, give thanks, and we're glad to have you be there.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to it. So everyone, come out and see Stratton. Come out and visit the booth from BE Solar, learn about all these services that they offer, and how renewable energy can provide value to you and your family. This is something that has really grown over the years. I think the last 50 years, solar, the use of solar has grown exponentially. And now renewable energy is showing up in many different forms, So I know we're doing our best to raise awareness about this, to explore these different things. We're even doing research on offshore wind and things of that nature so that we can understand how these technologies can benefit all of us, how we can get to the place, like Stratton said, where we can have clean, renewable energy that's beneficial for ourselves, our families, our loved ones, and helps to reduce our overall costs. So look forward to seeing you January 28th, Dockyard, Living Green Expo, natural living, sustainable living. Give thanks. Peace and love.